Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to the Tupelo City Council meeting of February 16th. At this time, I would ask that everyone stand, and Mr. Travis Beard will lead us in our invocation. Remain standing as Councilman Lynn Bryan leads us in our pledge.
I would pray. Lord, thank you for your blessings on our nation, our state, and our city. We ask that you would guide over us and watch over us as we conduct business of our city. Help us to conduct these business in an orderly fashion that would honor your name in everything that we say and do. Amen.
Would you please face the flag, salute, pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll now call this meeting to order, and I'll ask our Vice President, Councilman Lynn Bryan, for a confirmation or amendment of the agenda and the agenda order.
Mr. President, I make a motion to to amend the agenda and agenda order by moving 7.8 to the end of the council agenda to fall in between the study agenda and executive session.
Council, you heard his motion to have a second. We have a second by Mr. Whittington. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. At this time, we're going to item 4, proclamations, recognitions, and reports agenda, beginning with 4.1, recognition of Boy or Girl Scouts, which I don't see any here tonight. We'll go to 4.2, recognition of city employees.
Thank you, President Palmer. I do have some employees to recognize tonight. Trying to see who I've seen, who I haven't. Okay. Good. At this time, I ask Miss Judy Swords to please come forward. While she's making her way up here, again, the folks that are here are familiar, but the people that aren't always here may not be as familiar. This is a special time at not every council meeting, but routinely, that we have an opportunity to recognize the team members for the city of Tupelo that make the city run smoothly on a day-to-day basis. So at this time, on behalf of the council, the administration, and the city of Tupelo, with sincere appreciation and thanks, would like to recognize Judy D. Swords for 10 years of dedicated employment with the Bancorp South Arena. Thank you, Judy. Did I see Martha Sweeney? Okay. At this time, on behalf of the council, the administration, and the city of Tupelo, with sincere appreciation and thanks, would like to recognize Martha J. Sweeney for 10 years of dedicated employment with the Bancorp South Arena in the city of Tupelo. Thank you, Martha. Last but not least, Lieutenant Bell, if you'll come up, as he's making his way up here, I mentioned that Tim, I don't know if I had the pleasure to graduate high school with him. He had the bad fortune of going to high school with me, but did want to, before recognize him for his service with the city of Tupelo, mention that Tim was the youngest police officer, certified police officer in the state of Mississippi when he began working with the city of Tupelo Police Department. And he has a record that will likely never be broken because they have changed the rules. You can no longer become a police officer until you're 21, and he was 19 when he went through the police academy and joined the city of Tupelo. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing. I wanted to mention that. But at this time, on behalf of the council, the administration, and the city of Tupelo, with sincere appreciation and thanks, would like to recognize Lieutenant Timothy D. Bell for 20 years of dedicated employment with the Tupelo Police Department. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Mayor Shelton, I see we have 2 young Boy Scouts here. We can go back to 4.1. Would you like, you young Boy Scouts, would you come to the front, please. I know you're enjoying this.
I can't recall both of their first names off the top of my head, but I know both of their last names are Grist. At this time, we would like to recognize our 2 Boy Scouts, and if you guys, I'm so sorry, I know I'm supposed to know your names, I know your mom and dad, but if you'll tell me your names and which troop you're with.
I'm JT. I'm Jimmy.
Grist, and you're with which troop?
85.
Okay, with Troop 85 here working on their merit badge for community service. If we could recognize both of these young men at this time. We can let you stay on the front row if you want, or go back to the back. That's up to you. But
Thank you guys for coming. We'll now go to item number 4.3. Are there any public recognitions? Ms. Nettie Davis.
I would like to recognize, and maybe we can do something else a little more special for him, Mr. Chris Gillard, who has been made the director of the Highway Patrol, and he's a graduate of Tupelo High and a native of Tupelo, and we taught him, and we're real proud of that. So I think that's a great honor. And then just mention that they had Tupelo High School had an excellent Black History program today, and it was well received and well attended by the students and people in the community. And I just like to give a shout out to Tupelo High School.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Yes. Mr. Beard, yes.
Yeah. Friday night at Tupelo High School basketball game, they honored Russell Copeland, who was a football player in Tupelo. And as a result of Super Bowl 50 being played this year, every high school who had a student athlete who had played in the Super Bowl received a gold ball in honor of the 50th Super Bowl, and Russell Copeland was responsible for our high school getting one of those balls this past Friday. So I'd like to say a shout out to him.
Good. Thank you, Travis. Anyone else, council, mayor?
No, I can save till the report, mayor's report.
Okay, we'll now go to 4.5, our mayor's report.
I think President 4.4.
I'm sorry, I'm terribly sorry. 4.4, proclamation and recognition of the Empty Bowls Luncheon.
Thank you. At this time, if I could ask all of my friends with the Salvation Army, please come forward. It's my honor and privilege to be joined by a distinguished group of ladies who are working hard to improve the city of Tupelo and our area. For everybody that's not aware, the Empty Bowls Luncheon has really grown into a major event in the city of Tupelo, a major fundraiser. And what, around 1,500, 2,000 people typically attend? It's over 2,000. It's a very substantial number of people. But in support and recognition of that, would like to, on behalf of the city of Tupelo, issue the following proclamation at this time. Just the excitement is just across the room. Would like to issue the following proclamation at this time. Whereas in 1990, a high school art teacher in Michigan helped his students solve a problem. They were searching for a way to raise funds to support a food drive. What evolved was a class project to make ceramic bowls for a fundraising meal. Guests were served a simple meal of soup and bread and were invited to keep the bowl as a reminder of hunger in the world. By the following year, the organization had developed this concept into Empty Bowls, a project to provide support for food banks, soup kitchens, and other organizations that fight hunger. Since then, Empty Bowls events have been held throughout the world, and millions of dollars have been raised to combat hunger. Whereas Empty Bowls shares the goals of the U.S. Committee of the World Food Day to build public will and to increase awareness, understanding, information, services, support, advocacy, networking, and impact in the fight to bring food security to all people. Whereas it is our intent that the Empty Bowls project maintain a high level of integrity, that it is a project of inclusions, that it cuts all social, political, racial, religious, age, and any other perceived boundaries, and provides a tool that we can all use in working towards the goal of ending hunger. Therefore, the City Council and I, as Mayor of the City of Tupelo, hereby proclaim Wednesday, March 2nd, 2016, as Salvation Army Empty Bowls Day in the City of Tupelo, and urge all of our citizens to attend this important event on March 2nd, 2016 at the Tupelo Furniture Market. Thank you, ladies. I believe someone, Katrina, is going.
Yes, Katrina.
If I could at this time.
Yeah, we would just like to say thank you for letting us attend tonight and to recognize our project that's coming up. It is to everyone of the public, it's a one-day event. We work on this year-round, and so you don't see, I was talking to our president today, Carla Joplin. I serve as vice president, Katrina Patty. I told Carla, a lot of people doesn't see all the little bumps and things we have along the road. Thank goodness none of you know those. We prepare so hard for this event, and so we invite you to come to it. Like we said, March 2nd. Everyone's welcome. If anyone here within earshot would love to come volunteer, we will take you. We have a Facebook page. It's called Empty Bowls, Tupelo, Mississippi. You can go to that page also, and the information is there to come volunteer. At this time, we have a presentation to make for you.
I'd like to present you an apron to come and help us serve at the Empty Bowls Luncheon on March 2nd.
Means they're going to put me to work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank
Be
you.
there about 9-ish.
About 9.
About 9.
I can do it.
Y'all want to come over here? Come on down.
Thank you.
I want to thank you, ladies, and I'm sure all of our council has signed up to be volunteers. I'm pretty sure we have. We'll check on that later. But at this time, we'll now go to item 4.5, the mayor's report.
Thank you, President Palmer. Two things: the Russell Copeland getting the award for being in the Super Bowl, or the recognition, and the Black History Month program have been mentioned by council members Davis and Beard already, so I won't go back through those. I did want to also point out I failed in my remarks this morning to recognize our outreach task force that helped sponsor the event this morning, which is funded by the City Council. So if anybody here is with the outreach task force, and if anybody at home is watching, I apologize for omitting that this morning. Certainly thank you for your hard work and dedication. A couple of things I wanted to point out. Some were referred to in the State of the City the other day, and I certainly will not take the time to rehash all of that tonight, but I did want to mention again the commercial development, and there was an article in the paper the other day, the boom that we're experiencing right now is just a tremendous time for the City of Tupelo. The article mentioned there's, over the last couple of years, hundreds of millions of dollars in commercial development taking place in the City of Tupelo, and many more millions to come. This helps just every aspect of the City of Tupelo, from ad valorem taxes to job creation to sales tax revenue, quality of life, you name it. Just something we're very excited about and will continue to do and continue to support, rather, as a city. And then the other is that we're really on the cusp of a residential boom. Two items on the agenda: the budget revision and the bids for the West Jackson project will go a tremendous way toward furthering one of those projects. The other two potential neighborhood construction projects coming up really are a sign of great things to come in the city of Tupelo. Then, excuse me, I often get to brag on Kim Hanna. She does a phenomenal job, but she brought good news today that has already, I think, made some of the media outlets. But last year, we had the first time in the history of the city of Tupelo a single month of over $2 million in sales tax collections. We just got the news, I think it came in Friday, but just got the news today that we again surpassed that amount this year. So another record month for the city of Tupelo. That's 7 consecutive months of sales tax increases, not sales tax increases, but revenue increases for the city of Tupelo, which is just phenomenal. This year, in the first 5 months, we're up 2.76%, and on track to break last year's record, which is a sign of a positive economy in the city of Tupelo. Just since this council took office, we have right at a 5% growth in tax collections, which is a sign of a robust economy where other areas are not so fortunate. And then what's on the budget revenue for tonight, want to again commend the city council. This council created the first municipal reserve system in the state of Mississippi, and since the council's decision to do that, assuming the amendment gets approved tonight, that will be $5.6 million in excess revenue that goes into the capital fund that we're able to utilize to do projects in the city of Tupelo, to not raise any taxes, surely, to not use the rainy day fund, and to not take out debt. So just want my hats off to the council and citizens of the city of Tupelo. It's a great time to be here, and certainly fortunate all the positive news. So with that, we'll conclude my report at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. That was a very good report. We'll now close the regular meeting and open the public agenda, beginning with item 5, public agenda. 5.1, public hearings. 5.1A, public hearing on priorities for Phase 6 Tupelo Major Thoroughfare Program. And I might add, this was on our last council meeting, but if you remember, we had a lot of bad weather, so there was not a lot of people, or actually there was no one here to discuss this or to talk about it. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to have a few words? Okay, we'll go to 5.1B, public hearing on demolition of property located at 1155 West Jackson Street. Is there anyone here to speak to that?
I am.
Okay, come forward. I would ask you to state your name and address, and you have 3 minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes, excuse me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Daniel Junkin, and I'm here on behalf of Wells Fargo Bank. Wells Fargo just wanted to be present here to protect their rights, and that they've already initiated foreclosure proceedings on the subject property, and that if the demolition proceedings take place prior to the foreclosure going through and an auction sale of the property going through, if Wells Fargo ends up retaining possession of the property after the foreclosure and the auction, it would severely limit their rights in a HUD claim after, if there was a demolition prior to foreclosure. It's Wells Fargo's position at this time that it is the property owner's responsibility as the owner, he still is the owner, Mr. Larry Root, to remedy any problems that may have arisen with the garage that is subject to demolition. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now go to 5.2, citizens hearing. 5.2A, Ms. Santana Fleming would come forward, and she's got some comments on Lifesaver Empowerment Group.
Hello, my name is Santana Fleming, 931 Terry Road, Tupelo, Mississippi. My organization is called Lifesaver, and it's an empowerment group for girls. It's been here for about 3 years in Tupelo, and the main focus of that is just to help empower and encourage and instill positive beliefs in the girls in the community. And on last year, we had a death on Mother's Day. And what Lifesaver is going to do this year, and we're going to put on a Stop the Violence parade and honor one guy that got killed last year called Chris Scales. And I went and met with Miss Debbie downtown on Main, and she's going to help me out, so she couldn't be here tonight. And I also spoke to Miss Marilyn Vale, and they just wanted me to come and get more help, kind of put the word out there and make it like a big community event. And I was just coming to see if I can get y'all help.
We appreciate that. You have any other things to tell us?
That's it.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. At this time, we'll close the public agenda and return to the regular session, beginning with action agenda, which, by the way, there are no items. So we'll begin with the routine agenda. Review, approve, 7.1, review, approve minutes of the City Council meeting of Tuesday, February 2nd, 2016.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Beard, a second by Mr. Jennings. All in favor? That's unanimous. We'll start, next would be 7.2, review and pay bills.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Whittington, a second by Mr. Lynn Bryan. Tonight, our bills were paid by Lynn Bryan, Travis Beard, and Markle Whittington. All in favor of paying the bills? That is unanimous. Go to item 7.3, review, approve fiscal year 2016 budget revision number 3.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Lynn Bryan, a second by Mr. Mike Bryan. Mayor Shelton.
Thank you, President Palmer. This is what I mentioned in the mayor's report, the excess revenue for the previous year, 2015, or FY 2015, to be able to roll this over into the capital fund. It would put the vast majority of the funds toward future use, or what you might just say the bottom line, to continue funding the plan. And we'll set aside $250,000 to meet anticipated needs and overruns for the NDC project. And I did want to point out that before NDC requests that money pursuant to the original agreement, they will come back and make a presentation to the City Council to justify what, if any, funds might be released. But for budgeting purposes, it's important to go ahead and meet those needs. So I think this is a tremendously positive amendment, and we're very fortunate to have this.
Thank you, Mayor. Do we have any comments or questions? Ms. Davis?
I'd just like to say that this project on Jackson Street has been something that I have strongly supported since the beginning, and they have done a super job, and I'm proud that we are allowing this money to be placed there so that when they get ready to go to the next phase or step, it will be there available. Because at this time, I think they're getting into the position where they're about ready to start on maybe some more advanced planning with that particular project, maybe some housing or something. So I'm just happy to see it move forward.
Thank you, Ms. Davis. Any other comments, questions? All in favor? That would be unanimous. Thank you. We'll go to item 7.4, review approved resolutions for West Tupelo CDBG. By the way, that is Community Development Block Grant Sewer Project. And we'll have, I guess, two motions, beginning with A, which is Code of Standards of Conduct for Local Units of Government.
Move to approve item 7.4A, Code of Standards.
Second. We have a motion by Mr. Mike Bryan, a second by Mr. Beard. Mayor?
Thank you, President Palmer. These are requirements for getting the grant, part of what we have to do with to comply the Code of Standards of Conduct. And then also the second part of that, of establishing goals for minority and women-owned businesses, often referred to as MBEs, WBEs, and oftentimes even DBEs, disadvantaged business enterprises. But it sets a goal for the city of Tupelo to seek 10% participation of minority business enterprises and 5% participation in women or female business enterprises in the implementation of the grant. And that's why, if you recall, like the last meeting where we had to go back and redo the bid process to make sure that those provisions were complied with. And it's a goal that we have to set and seek to achieve when applying for and accepting and moving forward with these type projects.
Thank you, Mayor. Any comments? All in favor of that? That's unanimous. I'll now entertain a motion to accept or review or approve Resolution B. Okay.
I move that we approve the resolution establishing goals for minorities and women-owned businesses in the CDB projects.
Have a motion by Ms. Davis. Have a second by Mr. Markle Whittington. Mayor?
So just the
It's the same?
same, yes, sir.
All in favor of this item B? That's unanimous. Thank you. We'll now go to item 7.5, which is review approved demolition of property located at 1155 West Jackson Street.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Lynn Bryan, a second by Councilman Mike Bryan. Mayor?
Mr. President, I would just sort of rely on what's in the packet. I know Mr. Hooper is here if any additional information is needed, but we have that and have gone through the procedure and think that it would meet the best interest of the city of Tupelo and would further the revitalization projects that are taking place there.
Any other comments or questions?
I got a question.
Councilman Jennings? Councilman Jennings?
I guess it would be the shame. What's in this picture? I hadn't been by there to look at it, but what is to be tore down? The shed or the house? It looked like the house in good shape. What's the shed? Just the shed. Okay. Okay, I didn't see it. Okay.
I just want to ask.
Ms. Davis, yes.
Wilf, is this the partial that the man just spoke on? Would this affect anything related to that since Wells Fargo is tied up in it, or will it just run on the same as it is?
Actually, Ms. Davis, we'll continue to work in partnership with Wells Fargo. They do have a vested interest in that home right now. And as a matter of fact, before the gentleman left, we shared phone numbers because we'll continue to work with their Wells Fargo representative.
Anyone else have questions? All in favor? That would be unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Hooper. We'll go to item 7.6. Review, award, or reject bid for West Jackson Street Development Area 1 project.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Mike Bryan, a second by Ms. Nettie Davis. Mayor?
Thank you, President Palmer. This is, as also alluded to in the mayor's report, this is to further housing development for specifically the West Jackson Street project. This will provide the infrastructure for the first phase. They often refer to it as a pod, but the first phase of actual construction. But the bid itself is for public infrastructure that would facilitate that development.
Thank you. Any discussion, council? All in favor? That would be unanimous. Item 7.7, review accept minutes of the Tupelo Major Thoroughfare Program meeting of January 7th, 2016.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Lynn Bryan, a second by Mr. Travis Beard. All in favor? That would be unanimous. We'll now go to 7.9. We've relocated 7.8. We'll go to 7.9, review approve increase in fee to reconnect service after regular hours by Tupelo Water and Light.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Lynn Bryan, a second by Mr. Markle Whittington, Mayor Shelton, or Mr. Johnny Timmons,
When he gets the big buck.
big man.
We have reviewed our service charges, and this is one of the areas that we felt like for a couple of years we've been pretty weak in. So anyway, after we've done the survey of this is actually for service disconnects after 5 o'clock, where our dispatchers will take payment on these and then call out a serviceman to come in and reset the services back. We've been normally charging $40 for this, and now we recommend to you that we'd like to increase this to $75 to cover this cost.
Any discussion?
I just have a comment that I'm concerned about, this particular item, those people who feed, whose lights and have been disconnected, and it's a struggle to pay that fee back and to add on to it. I'm just wondering, it's gonna make an extra hardship. I understand what you're saying, but a lot of these people scuffling, trying to come up with the fees already existing.
Right. And also, Ms. Davis, we reviewed most of the power distributors around North Mississippi, and most of them in the $100 range to reconnect these. So again, you know, we're trying to keep the cost down as much as we can, but we've been actually losing money on this service.
Johnny, is this business a commercial too?
Yes.
I mean the same price?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Any other comments, council? All in favor? I believe that was unanimous. We'll now go to 7.10, which has two parts to it. Review, award, or reject bids for Tupelo Water and Light Department. Bid number 1 would be 1398 WL, water system improvements of Area 5A in West Tupelo.
I move to award this bid.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Mike Bryan, a second by Mr. Whittington. I guess, Mayor, would we call Johnny back up?
Yes, sir.
Council, this bid is actually, I hope to be the last phase of the newly annexed area that we've installed water and sewer into. The first bid, bid number 1398, is actually for the infrastructure, all the new transmission mains that will be basically put in from West Main all the way to 78 Highway. This will pretty well complete our project. I recommend to you the contractor of AMG Construction Company, actually out of Charleston, Mississippi, at $1,615,000.
Any questions for Mr. Timmons?
The motion is on both of them, right?
No, it's on this
separate.
first one, on A. We're doing A
Did you
first.
specify the 1398?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
he did.
yes.
Okay, sorry.
All in favor? That's unanimous. We'll now go to bid number 1399WL, Water System Improvements, Area 5B, Purnell Road, Elevated Water Storage Tank.
Make a motion to award the bid.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Whittington, a second by Mr. Mike Bryan. Johnny?
This bid here is for a 500,000 gallon water tank to be located at Purnell and Butler Road. This will, first of all, will take care of any fire issues we have with our Fire Rating Bureau for capacity of stored water. And then also, we of course have a lot of issues out there on demand, especially in the summer months, and that will resolve that also. This will also interconnect into this first bid that you just approved, will interconnect into that water system. And again, I recommend to you to Caldwell Tanks. for $1,192,000.
Any questions for Mr. Timmons?
Johnny,
I got
Yes,
one
sir.
question. Go ahead.
do the people stay in that area, do they know about, are they aware of the water tower going up out there?
Well, back last year, we purchased the actual property there at Butler and Purnell, but as far as any announcement, I haven't made any kind of announcement.
So it's not standard to have a...
No, sir.
Okay.
No. Especially when you have a need like this for water.
I do want to say, Mr. President, that we have been working on this issue for quite some time.
Oh, yeah.
Over the past, probably how long?
Actually, a couple of years.
Yeah.
Back when we got our last fire rating, this was a recommendation from the last time we got our fire rating.
Yeah, when we got the fire rating. So.
This raises our fire rating up to, will become a 3, is that correct, Chief?
Thomas?
It's the highest we can get without,
Yeah, but it's not a guarantee, but there was two items that they listed on the letter that they sent. One was the water tank, and the other one was a valve maintenance program that's being worked on. So, there's no guarantee that it will go, but those are the only two items on the list.
okay,
So.
thank you.
Any other questions, council? All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Timmons. We'll now go to 7.11. We may have to ask Mr. Timmons again. This was review, approve, transfer of water and light bills to the bad debt file.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Lynn Brown, a second by Mr. Whittington. Mr. Timmons or Mayor? Mr.
He's on
Timmons.
such a good roll.
We'll give him extra hazardous duty pay for coming up so often.
As you know, this is a requirement of TVA that every 6 months we retire these bad debt files. Of course, as you can see down at the bottom of the first page there, the percentage of loss, we continue to strive to work this and keep this as low as we can. Now that you have replaced our old deposit program with the new credit rating process, I think you're going to see this get even better in the near future. But really, we won't have any history on billing on this till it's going to probably be close to a year under this new process we're under.
Questions, anyone? All in favor? That's unanimous. We'll now go to 7.12, review, award, or reject bids for Tupelo Public Works Department.
I move that we accept the bids for the Tupelo Public Works Department.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Travis Beard, a second by Ms. Nettie Davis. Mayor?
Thank you, and Mr. Williams is here if the council needs further information, but this is just the hot mix that's routine to go, so they can do the mill and overlay program each year for the city of Tupelo. They buy it in bulk, and the figures and tabulation are there in the packet.
Thank you, Mary. Any questions, council? All in favor? That is unanimous. We'll now go to item 7.8, back to 7.8, which is review, approve demolition of property located at 854 North Gloucester Street. And I must say that
We moved that to after the study agenda,
After the
Mr.
study.
President.
After the study agenda.
It's after the study agenda.
Oh, after the study, I'm sorry. All right, we'll go to 8.1, review, discuss, request for permission to replace sign in right-of-way.
I move to suspend the rules to take action on this item.
Second.
We have a motion to suspend the rules to take action on this item at this time. We have a motion by Mr. Mike Bryan, a second by Mr. Lynn Bryan. Is there a need for discussion on that?
President, we don't, the administration does not have an opinion on suspending the rules. That's certainly in the prerogative of the council, and certainly has no objection to the council taking that action.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion now to review. Oh, I'm sorry. Have a vote to suspend rules. I'm messing up. That would be unanimous. I'll now entertain a motion to review, discuss, or accept the request for permission to replace the sign in the right-of-way.
Mr. President, I move that we accept and grant permission to place the sign on the right-of-way on the city.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Beard, a second by Mr. Mike Bryan. Any discussion at all on this? Probably not.
Now, it's my understanding that It's gone through the chain of command, from Pat to Shane to Don to me, and I've been informed that we're okay with it. So.
Okay. All in favor? That is unanimous. We'll now go to item point 2, review adopt ordinance establishing priorities for Phase 6 Tupelo Major Thoroughfare Program on the study agenda. And item 8.3, review, discuss abandonment of Beach Springs Road at Tupelo Crossroads Development.
Move them up. Move them up.
The pleasure of the council is to move these items up. And now we'll go back to 7.8, is that correct? Which is review, approve demolition of property located at 854 North Gloucester Street. This item was tabled at the January the 5th, the 19th, and the February 2nd council meeting.
President Palmer, I have a point of information that I believe that after some discussions today, both with the Councilman Bryan's and the Comerica Bank and the potential purchaser of the property, that some matters have come up even at that meeting and since then that would require us to go into executive session.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we determine a need for executive session.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Lynn Brown, a second by Mr. Jennings to determine the need to go into executive session. All in favor? Do we have a motion to go into executive session?
Let's state that reason.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The reason is under Mississippi Code annotated 2541-7-4B. If we issue an order tonight on this matter, then we stand the chance of not putting ourselves into a litigation situation to where if the order is appealed to the circuit court, that we, by having an open discussion on it, it might compromise our litigation position. So we would definitely come out after discussing that and take action on this, and without discussion.
I make a motion we go into executive session.
Second. I have a motion to go into executive session by Mr. Lynn Brown, a second by Mr. Mike Brown. All in favor? We're now in executive session. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.